And we're live. And hey, everybody, this is Mike from the Reelblack podcast, and I am with the esteemed sports fanatic.
Charles Woods, peace and blessings. Did you
Okay, well,
say did you say esteemed or steamed up?
all right, we'll get to that. We're just taking a little break. We're up late. I hope you are too. We're working on this new documentary that's going to premiere next Saturday at the Langston Hughes branch of the Queens Public Library, and it's called "From Slavery to Freedom: A Real to Real Perspective." And we'll have more information about that coming very very soon. But I mean, before we get jump into the sports thing, as we're waiting for the room to fill up, what can you tell us about this new documentary that we're doing?
Well, just going by what the title is, it's from slavery to freedom, a real to real perspective. It's juxtaposing what we get in real life on film and what we get in reality, and just to show uh, that film, for the most part, is a weaponized art form to help perpetuate the status quo, to help uh, perpetuate the ideology of white supremacy. That's something I've been saying for a long time.
Hmm.
And I've been working on trying to make sure that my idea of how film is used in a propagandistic way, being able to support that with imagery, where the imagery speaks for itself. But what
Hmm.
I want to capture with this piece is to show that the film messaging that we get, it's controlled. It's controlled in a way where I give basic themes on how it's controlled. Where the ending, the film at the film's conclusion, we have people leaving the movie theaters and they're not upset.
Hmm.
They 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 have been programmed to accept this mythological fantasy world that film gives us. But when we compare that to what's happening in real life, we see that without the control, without the filters that we used to have years ago with the fourth estate, with the media, now everything is completely different. At the language, uh, the, the, the information that's coming through the different sources of how people get their information, it's destroying this country. And we're on our way to a civil war. You look at Fox News, they're not even covering um, the hearings on what happened on January 6th, what happened in Buffalo with the people getting killed in the supermarket. That's a consequence of what has been uh, spewed on Fox News with this great replacement theory. And in conclusion, just to sum it up, there's this concern in reality that we don't want what is called critical race theory to be taught. And I say, but we've been given CRT in motion pictures for as long as motion pictures have been in existence. And CRT in motion pictures is what I call Caucasian racist telecasting. Okay. But the thing is, but the thing is, in reality, this unchecked, unfiltered misinformation and disinformation that we're getting in the media right now, it's costing people's lives. And that's what this piece is our attempt to capture in this documentary.
Definitely, yeah. No, we're having a lot of fun putting it together for you guys. And again, if you're in New York area, uh, come through and meet us. It's a live in person event at the Queens Public Library next Saturday. I think it's at like 3:30 in the afternoon. But we'll have all that information. I'll figure out a way to post it on the website. but and on Twitter and Instagram later in the week. But yeah, I'm blown away again once again with the research that you've done in terms of putting things in perspective. The footage is coming together. It's gonna be really great. Um, please join us. And if you can't join us, we'll live stream probably on Instagram live. We'll pro- we'll project the Q&A so people can see it. So make sure that you're on. If you are on Instagram, make sure that you follow at Reelblack on Instagram to get that information. Okay, so thank you for that, Charles. So let me get rid of the banner. Let me put the banner up real quick, and because we are still demonetized on this channel, so it's great whenever somebody sends a Patreon, a PayPal, or a Cash App. It's always good. It helps us do what we do. So getting to the game, I know you're a big basketball fan. Uh, this game was really
Yeah.
close.
Um,
This game was really close to the fourth
yes.
quarter.
Well, it was close throughout. And the thing is this: the one thing you don't want to be in a game with someone who can shoot like Stephen Curry
There he is, right
and
there.
um, and his splash brother Clay Thompson, and now
Hmm.
this young boy Poole can come on and he can he can rock it. And if he gets fouled, he won't miss at the foul line. But the thing is, the last thing you want to be is close to the Golden State Warriors. You want to have some kind of a cushion, you know. But what was devastating about this game,
Hmm.
I fault the coaching on Boston's part. Um, the previous game they won, and I think they won. The Celtics won the previous game because size matters. They can't shoot with this team. They don't get into a shooting contest with Golden State, not with Stephen Curry. Okay, this young boy, this boy can shoot. He can shoot your eyes out, and he's quick. He's he's just crafty. And the thing is, there are a number of things that get me upset when I watch Golden State. They, to
Hmm.
me, they play with a lot of what we call moving blocks, moving away with murder. And one of the ace boon coons are getting away with that is Mr. Triple himself, Draymond Green.
Mm.
And to me, I can't stand Draymond Green. He's to me, he's someone who will end up in the Hall of Fame because he was fortunate enough to know how to make himself look bigger than what he really is because he's used his meal tickets, the Splash Brothers, real well, and he knows how to sell himself. And last thing
that's
I want to
that's
say,
that's a
and
backhanded compliment,
is
Charles. Come
Golden
on.
Golden. Um, I'm telling you the truth. In fact, one of the things that's going to be a part of the conversation
Hmm.
is they're going to talk about how Kerr, the coach for Golden State, took Draymond Green out because Draymond Green in this particular game he was continuing the performance he gave us in the previous game. He
Hmm.
was looking like Ben Simmons out there, and as Barkley would say, Mr. Triple Single. Draymond Green is just someone is like he just benefited from knowing how to use his meal tickets
Mm.
and knowing how to sell himself. But he's
Well,
nothing but a big bully.
well, one of the things I noticed, I paused the video here. Like this is when I tuned in when I called you and you said you're watching the game. I said, well, let me see what's going on, and it was just when Golden State went up in the fourth quarter, and it started to frustrate me because they were only down by 3 points, but they kept trying to hit threes. And I'm not following the series as close as you, but I said there's 3 minutes left in the game. Why are they playing so desperately? And they end up losing by 10.
Because this is what happens, and this is where the difference is in coaching. A lot of times in these close games, the difference can be in coaching.
Hmm.
You have to make sure that your players know you have to play to your strength, not someone else's strength. Okay. The previous game, as I said before, they won on their size. The Celtics team is a big team. The
Mm.
Golden State Warriors is, by comparison, is a small team. But tonight, I think they out rebounded the Celtics. Uh,
Mhm.
Jason Tatum, who's in the running for if the Celtics win, more than likely it's between him and his teammate Jalen Brown would be uh, who's going to get the MVP. But
Mhm.
Jason Tatum, to me, he was uh, what he didn't do the last game, and they won. He did once again tonight. He was going up there, just looked like throwing up the basketball when he would drive to the basket and complaining when he didn't get a foul call and whatnot. Listen,
Mhm.
big as you are, this is a big cat. Jason Tatum's a big cat. Use your size, go to your strong side, go in, and brother, if you ain't gonna make a basket, you'll get a foul. Stuff it, but don't just go in there looking to get fouled and throwing stuff up. I think he took maybe a total of 31 shots, maybe made 8 of them. And when I say 31 shots, combined regular 2-point attempts, and he maybe had about uh, 6 or 8 3-point attempts.
Right. Now I know you're rooting for the Celtics, but can you explain why? I mean, because everybody else that I know seems to be for Golden State. I'm purely Sixers. So
Okay, well, the thing is this: as busy as I need to be and want to be with the projects I'm working on and the research that is a relief for me. When my team was one of the worst, in fact, for the talent, that there was worst team in the league, and that's the Lakers. Because I love LeBron,
mhm.
but once they lost, I said, okay, I won't have a dog in the race. But what happens if you're a basketball uh, fan, if your team's not in it, and you don't have a favorite? I mean, because many people felt that the Phoenix Suns were the way they played all year, that they were going to be the the team to beat, and they got, oh man, they just got slaughtered by the Mavericks.
Mhm.
And it's important to note here. I was just talking to my brother, and he said there was a lot of money lost. Mike, gambling is a big thing now in sports,
Mhm.
and they said there was a great loss of money with what happened to Phoenix. Juxtapose that to what's happening with this series right here. There was a game where Draymond Green, Mr. Draymond Green, with his big mouth, and he's always in the face of the refs, he got a technical.
Mhm.
Then an incident happened later on in the same game where there was a scrum between him and Jalen Brown, and Jalen Brown on the Celtics took issue with it. And here's what happens: the traditional response from the refs is this default thing they do, which is the old double technical re, uh, response. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they don't give one guy the technical foul. They don't give the other technical foul. They don't play sides. In other words, who was the instigator? Who was the real person wrong in this thing? They do the double technical thing. There's an instance now where you could say this scrum necessitated a technical.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem now. Who already has the technical foul? Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you call a double technical, he's out. The last thing they want to do, the refs, they don't want to say, well, their call, as a result of their call, gets Draymond Green thrown out. So before they even came back with a decision, because they went to the film and all of this, before they even came back with a decision, I'm not saying I'm uh, smarter than anyone else, but a lot of the fans, they knew what the call was going to be. You know what the call was?
Oh, they reversed it.
No call,
No call.
no technical, no technical call. That
Well,
was
that
BS.
brings. Well, so well, you're saying the plan they're trying to get it to 7 games so they can make more money. Is that what you're saying? Or what's your
Well,
prediction?
okay, it's about money, because don't forget, uh, the playoffs. It's on Channel 7, ABC.
Mm-hmm. ABC. Yeah, 6 here in Philly.
Um, I mean, you could look up what the I think the ratings was. I think for the last game was around 19 million.
Mm.
In today's audience, you know, it's not like years ago, but with today's audience, as far as TV watching is concerned, that's a lot of eyes, and and
Right.
that's revenue, that's advertising and whatnot. And the thing is this: there are a lot of calls that should have been made tonight that weren't. I mean, there was a obvious call, a number of calls where on the Celtics, Jason Tatum, he was being fouled. Looney and Kevin Looney's with the Golden State Warriors, and some of the other players on Golden State, when they set their picks, this is a classic move they do. They'll set a pick because they want to try to free up Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry, he just needs a millisecond to get a shot off. So the thing is, you're allowed to set picks, but you can't be moving. These guys be moving. Looney's in there, pushing. Green is known for it. That's his pet move. No calls are made. Um, Tatum's not getting calls, and there was a call that should have been made against him, which I'm glad it didn't happen. But Stephen Curry took a 3-point shot, and clearly, in his attempt to defend Curry from making the shot, Tatum fouled Curry. That
Mm-hmm.
wasn't called, and you could see what's his name. He was hotter than a firecracker, Stephen Curry. And pretty much in his reaction. Sometimes, if there's a reaction on the player's part where they're showing up the refs, that can draw a technical. So a lot of this stuff is being overlooked, because the thing is this: I'm not suggesting that there's any attempt by the refs to overlook a lot of things so as not to have this series end sooner than a 7-game series.
Okay.
But I know one thing: they do not want to see Golden State lose, and I know, not playing a favorite game, but I know they don't want this game to go less than 6 or 7.
Right.
And what you may not be aware of tonight, because you don't watch basketball, and as you said, you tuned in because I told you, I just give me a few more minutes. Let me see what happens with this. Um, I predicted, it's my prediction that who won tonight will go on to win the series.
Okay.
Had the Celtics played smarter, and what do I mean by played smarter? If you know the old saying, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, you
Hmm.
don't try to outshoot Golden State. You play their strength. These son of a guns, for the most part, the leads were going back and forth. More times than not, the Celtics had the lead.
Hmm.
But as you tuned in, you see they're down 3 points. Golden State is one foul away from going into automatic free throws. And now, once again, you got Marcus Smart taking threes. You got Jason Tatum, who can hit a three, but he's not a 3 point shooter. His strength should be going to the basket. You got everybody trying to on the Celtics trying to hit a three. I mean, they're lucky to get some 3 points out of a Horford every now and again. And I think one of the surprise players for the Celtics is the player they got from Popovich on the Spurs. This Derek White, who's been a key player for them. But you know anyone who's going to have a conversation about this game that they played tonight, they're going to say, why didn't the Celtics coach admonish his players, tell them, damn the threes, go to the basket, and don't just go to the basket and throw stuff up like what Tatum was doing. Go to the basket with the intent to make it. If you get fouled, make the shots because um, Jalen Brown, he's someone he'll go to the basket and he can do. Uh, he can have the dexterity to pull it off. But the thing with him, a lot of times if he gets fouled, he misses a lot of free throws.
Mm.
But who was killing him in the closing seconds? Besides the fact that the Celtics weren't hitting threes,
Steph.
well, Steph was practically a one man team. I
Yeah.
don't like to say it, but that boy can shoot. That's a given. But here's another thing that's a forgotten art. These guys don't know how to block out. Wiggins made 2 key rebounds and putbacks.
Well, let me ask you
Or
this. I'm sorry, I
uh-huh.
didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Um, you talk about coaching.
Yes.
Towards the end of the play, I think it was still within 3 points, maybe 5 point lead by. I think the play took it to 5 points, but there was a foul called against Steph Curry, and was challenged. They thought he was flopping, and when they came back, it was upheld, and the Celtics lost their final timeout. Do you think it was a good call at that point to challenge? I mean, were they in that much danger at that point of losing if that play had gone through, or it was just at what point did the game change for you? Like, at what point did you say, all right, this is not close anymore?
When Celtics kept trying to hit threes and
Okay, the
and
last
miss.
5 minutes. Okay.
Okay. All right. And the other thing with regard to that challenge,
Hmm.
where they said the fact it was Horford who made an attempt to block Curry from having a layup.
Hmm.
Actually, when you look at it,
Right, from the proper angle.
Curry's using his offhand.
Hmm.
That's supposed to be a no-no. Now, the no-no for the defensive player is that they're supposed to go straight up in their attempt to block the the um the offensive player
Hmm.
to go straight up. Now, Horford did extend his arms out, but the body contact to me was more something that Curry created than Horford in his attempt to block him. What happens is this is what I'm saying. A lot of these calls they'll go the way that will impact the game the way they want to see it impacted.
Mhm.
See, now we're 2-2, as opposed to if the challenge was successful, now you're what, no, about
This is
3 to 5
3-1.
points behind, and
Yeah.
you're coming back with an opportunity to at least get, for sure, try to go get 2, but if you're gonna come back and try to get 3, so you lose the challenge. Curry's not gonna miss his free throws, so now you're gonna go up 7 points.
Mhm.
Se 7 points for Golden State with less than a minute to go. The game's over,
Yeah.
okay? The game's over. But the thing is, when you look at the stats, Celtics were out rebounded tonight. That's that's a key strength that the Celtics could have in their favor that they lost tonight. So you
Mhm.
didn't get the rebounds you got in the game you won previously. You're trying to beat or compete with shooters that you have no way of competing with. If you're not hot, because there's a term or a phrase they'll use. Basketball is a make or miss thing. The percentage shooting 3 points is smaller than going for a 2 point shot. But if you're shooting around 30% 3 pointers, you're scoring your ability to score more points is good.
Right.
That's what you don't want to get. Case closed. You don't want to get in a shooting match with Golden State, and you want to have a big, solid lead. So,
Right.
what has been the strong point for the Celtics is their size. By comparison, Golden State is a smaller team, and their defense. And Golden State is a good defensive team also, because I think if you compare even turnovers, relatively speaking, there weren't that many turnovers in this game, maybe 13 to 15. But the thing is, I feel that the winner of tonight's game will go on to be champions. And
Mhm.
I don't like that. And I didn't complete my thought on the fact that since I didn't have a dog in the race, what happens is what you're looking for is you pick someone you don't like to lose and someone you do like to win.
Right.
I don't like the Golden State as a team, because I think they're a bunch of arrogant guys who uh, you know
Mhm.
Steph would put the baby to sleep, and Draymond Green thinking he's the best power forward that's ever played the game. Clay Thompson with the shrugging his shoulders and all this, that arrogance. There's too much arrogance, not just with Golden State. A lot of these players, um, it's just too much showboating, and my brother tells me it's from these video games these kids watch. But to me, it's too much celebrating before it's something to celebrate.
Mm.
But the thing is, the Celtics had an opportunity, because to be close to this team with your size and your defense, to be close to this team and not being blown out by this team, because the Golden State can blow you out. You can see, number one, this game here uh, was an anomaly for Golden State, because they didn't have their traditional blowout third quarters. Okay, they were held in check tonight. But the thing is, the other factors that are important for the Celtics to come out a winner, they failed to play smart. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
Marcus Smart either. They. I think this is where coaching comes in. For
Yeah.
case in point, Draymond Green. I think he was compared to Ben Simmons of your You're
Mhm.
old Ben Simmons, with the Sixers.
Sixers, yeah.
But there came a point where Steve Kerr said, "The hell with the history of Draymond Green, who does have a history of being productive and in his way, being someone of a nuisance and coming through with first of all, he can get the ball to Clay and he can get the ball to Stephen.
Mm.
But the thing is, Kerr took him out. And that
Yeah,
was a
they
different.
were trading offense for defense at that point.
Well, no, he had him out a
Okay.
while because, the thing is, Draymond Green, as once again, I said, Barkley called him, not Mr. Triple Double, but Mr. Triple Single.
Mhm.
And then even Barkley, not too long ago, was teasing him like, "Why are you practicing shooting?" But tonight's winner
Yeah.
will go on to win the series, and so the reason why I'm rooting for the Celtics is because I like Jason Tatum
Okay.
and I like Jalen Brown. But what I like about Jason Tatum, when he speaks, there's not this air of braggadocio or this arrogant air about him. He seems like a good guy, and so I respect that. And I'll tell you one thing: if he works on that his shooting,
Hmm.
he's 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 on the he's on the periphery of being one of the great players in the future.
I love it. So, all right. So, in how many games do you think this is going to take to close us out? The series is tied 2-2. Golden State has home court advantage at this point. Do you think it will go to 7, or
No,
they can
I don't.
score
I don't
one?
see it going to 7. Um, I'm surprised Celtics won 2 games
Mm,
because Golden State is as I said, they're a good defensive team. They're fast and they got some accurate shooters, good shooters that got the speed. And if you don't maintain the defense and you don't play to your strength because what they're lacking is size, it's going to be tough to beat them. Because this whole, if you hear anybody talking about basketball now, or one of the people they want to say change the game, you know, Wilt Chamberlain changed the game height wise,
hmm.
shooting. Now everybody's trying to be a 3-point shooter,
Hmm.
centers, everybody. The guy who changed the game in that respect is Stephen Curry.
Good stuff. So, last thing I'll ask you while we have you, and we can, we're about to go. We got to work on this documentary tonight, but um, we can take a call if somebody wants to jump on. But the main thing is we're going to be presenting a new documentary From Slavery to Freedom next Saturday, June 18th at the Langston Hughes branch of the Queens Public Library. The information is on their website. I believe it starts at 3:30 in the afternoon. Charles and I will be there. We'll have some giveaways, and it's going to be it's the world premiere of our new work. So please, if you can make it, if you're in Queens, if you're in New York area, please come out and support. So, are you watching the hearings, the January 6th hearings at all? And any thoughts about that? That you can
I,
review? I know
I
we're going to touch on it in the documentary.
Yeah, because of the project, I haven't watched it. And I had a blackout last night.
Oh no.
Um, but in catching up on some of the coverage of it,
Hmm.
anyone who follows news, if I'm watching a CNN or MSNBC, there's nothing new for me with
Hmm.
this. It's already a fact that Fox is not even covering it. In fact, it's come out that Fox would not even go to commercial because they didn't want to have anyone tune away to
Wow.
kind of look into it. But the thing is this, and that's one of the things that's going to come out with this documentary that we're doing.
Mhm.
The world we live in, Mike, we're living in a world where at this point, it's become more and more evident that there are a lot of people, they don't give a damn about facts. They're oblivious to facts. They do not want anything to shatter their delusion. Okay?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that. Um, it's so polarized. I mean, it's a challenge for me and the viewers. I should. We were talking about this earlier today. It's sort of like, um, and hit the PayPal, hit the shop at Reelblack. Um, we could do a lot of things that are clickbaity and will attract attention for us, but they're not based on facts, or if they are, it's based on negativity, and it's just something, that people are constantly telling me, hey, you got to change your headings, so that they're more controversial and this, that, and the third. And I think that we need to have a safe space where we can weigh both sides of a conversation, and that's going to get a lot harder and more difficult to find, I think, especially in the social media space, because there's big dollars involved in all of it, and I think people typically want to get paid as opposed to telling the truth, and you see that over and over again with the Fox um, people. Like they'll say anything just to get their crew riled up.
Well, let me just say this, and you know me,
Hmm.
and there are a number of people who come after me because the thing is, I've never been one to try to say something that's going to just sound good.
Hmm.
I always just say, I don't want to just sound good. I want to make sure that what I say is good and sound.
Right.
I have a project I told you I'm working on, Color of Christ. There are a lot of people, they misread, misinterpret scripture,
Right.
and they want to prove that Jesus was black and go to the Bible as their source, their valid source to prove that he's black. And if I tell you right here, right now, that anyone can go to the Bible and give me a passage out the Bible that tells you the color of Christ, then that person doesn't know how to read. And here's what you have to understand about reading. I had to tell this when I was in the school system, tell this to a lot of parents. They used to think the kids could read because the kids could pronounce words. That's phonics.
Mm.
You dig what I'm saying?
There's a level to it.
There's layers to it. Phonics is phonics, sound. You're taught how to sound words out. That's one part of it. That's not reading. Reading is the ability to understand what is in that sentence.
Mm.
Okay?
Right. By
So,
by
so
look by looking at the etymology of the words and breaking them down. which you do a tremendous job of at all times.
Well, you got what is called subject and predicate.
Mhm.
All right. John ran. Simple sentence. John is your subject. Ran is your predicate. It tells you what John did. You have to understand context with respect to the Bible. You have to know that what's written in the Bible, when they talk about different versions of the Bible, there are different versions because over the course of time, the interpretation of the material that they will use as a basis for understanding what was written in Aramaic and Hebrew and Greek, you had to learn what the context was. You had to learn linguistics. You had to learn the language. Once that became more and more understandable, okay, um, and you developed an understanding of what is called exegesis, you learn interpretation. That's part of learning and understanding what is actually being said. Right quick, what people read and take for fact, what people read and understand, we used to say you take out of a reading too often what you put into it. That's bias.
Mm.
Okay, that's selective bias. You have to be cognizant of your bias. You have to be cognizant of how much of what you're reading you're not accepting if it goes against what you want to hear. You see, that's selective bias.
Mhm.
You only accept that part of hearing, that part that addresses what you want to hear. So that's what one of the other projects I'm working on. The whole thing is getting back to, like I say, a lot of people take issue with my attempt to find truth, and truth is a relative thing.
Mhm.
Now, I won't disagree with that, but the thing is this: I don't dis I don't dismiss people having the right to have an opinion, but I always say I'd rather talk to someone with an informed opinion than one who's misinformed.
Right, which is why we'll take less views and have the perspective of telling the truth, and we also will listen to you. Oh, look who's in the building.
My. I bet this lovely lady is, I think I forgot about her, but I haven't. L Brown, peace and blessings. Love to you.
Yeah, we got a lot of folks, so I don't want to call everybody out, but we're winding it down. Um, Smokey's mom, MG Massey, Elisa. Thanks for being active in the chat. Uh, I don't know if Vishan is still around, but let me see. Takashi, Vishan, Babyface, uh, who followed the game. So uh, and I can't see stop the with the Tupac app. So we have very active chat. I appreciate you jumping on, Charles. We have to jump back into our editing session. They tend to go all night, but we're trying to get the best possible product for you. And once again, it's going to be next Saturday, a week from today, if you're on the East Coast. From Slavery to Freedom documentary premiere Saturday, June 18th, 3:30 p.m. at the Langston Hughes branch of the Queens Public Library. It's a new uh, mini lecture video essay. It's going to be about 40-50 minutes long, followed by Q&A with us. Charles and I will both be there in person at the Queens Public Library. So please, if you can make it, please come meet us. We have some buttons and giveaways. I'll give away some movies or something. And and it should be a lot of fun. But thank you, Charles, for taking your
Yeah,
time.
don't
Go
say
ahead.
you're gonna have some buttons,
Why do you say that?
because I know somebody who's gonna say, "Yeah, why don't you use some of them buttons and button up that guy's mouth?"
Not me. Wait, hang on. Let me figure out the angle. That that guy. That guy. All right. Well, anyway, we had about 60 people in the room. It was good. We were predicting hundreds of thousands of people coming in this room, but so that just proves we have work to do. Please spread the word. Hit the notification bell, and we'll see you. Well,
Man,
I'm gonna be on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
people out, they out now. That was this Friday night. This is Friday night, right?
It's yeah. Well, if you're in Philly, you're staying home.
Mike, if you're in New York, I'm saying if you're riding that train, brother, you better stay away from them tracks. It's dangerous out there,
Oh,
man.
somebody got pushed.
Yeah, not too long ago, another person was pushed. Um, who's our mayor? Adams. Don't look like he'll be reelected, and I hate to see what's going to happen with these midterms. Oh my goodness, that
Oh, it's gonna flip it completely.
oh
The
brother,
inflation is killing it. It's just too expensive. If people could afford to get to the voting booth, it costs money, to travel to do things. So it's gonna be a little tricky. So tomorrow night, me and Jason Clue at 8 p.m. And then Monday night, it's gonna be me
that's
and Eric.
tomorrow. Tomorrow, you guys are doing something.
Well, it depends on what Saturday night. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about white saviors.
Okay, is
So
that
if you're
Jesus?
welcome to come chime in, if you can
Is
jump on or jump in
white
the chat.
savior? White savior, is that Jesus?
In motion pictures.
Okay.
So we're talking about the Blind Side, um, different white characters that have the whole trope of white saviors and the psychological effect that it has on viewership. So that's gonna be me and Jason tomorrow night, and then on Monday, I'm not sure what the topic's gonna be. I have a guest lined up, but I have to do like a pre-interview to make sure we
Mhm.
can do it live with this person because they have a very um controversial topic. So I just want to make sure that before we book it that we can go live, or we may have to pre-record it. So that'll be Monday. But all right, so we're gonna jump off. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm gonna type in thanks for hanging out, and I'm gonna leave the final word for Charles.
Well, once again, in closing, I just want to say peace and blessings to the Real Black family. I love you, but wherever you go, be safe. Keep your eyes open, and all the best. Love.
All right. Thank you. Peace and blessings.